city for the simple country life. Found myself a woman that it took for me to be my wife. I was working on the ground come the sun up to sundown. Hey, I'm trying to make a reputation for a man inside this town. Hard as I try, maybe I just can't. I ain't no up and kind of leaving me. She kissed me one time and she took my heart. Baby, you can love me, you can leave me. I'm a honky-tonk star. Yeah, I'm a honky-tonk star. Well, working 3 jobs, living out of a car. Mama never told me life would get this hard. Running around the world playing my guitar. Baby, you can love me, you can leave me. I'm a honky-tonk star. Yeah, I'm a honky-tonk star. I'm a honky-tonk star. Lord, I'm a honky-tonk star. Playing my guitar. Baby, you can love me, you can leave me. I'm a honky-tonk star. Yeah, a honky-tonk star. Yeah, I'm a honky-tonk star.
The stream, does that work? I'm now unmuted and now we can talk. Awesome. I appreciate you joining me this morning. This is going to be a little bit of a different type of stream. We did one of these not long ago, just kind of building the site out, but let me kind of set the stage for what we've got going on here. We are building a brand from the ground up. That brand being Bruzel, which is going to sell alcohol-themed merchandise. We're starting with print-on-demand t-shirts, and we're hoping to expand that product offering, grow it, and show every step of that journey here. And so far, we've got the site kind of built out. We've picked a theme. I've been working with graphic designers to figure out the art for the shirts, and I've got a bunch of those pulled together. I'm not happy with some of the colors of those shirts. Our designer's obviously really good with the initial designs in the dark shirts, but then once we start asking for color variations, wasn't real thrilled with some of their suggestions there. So we've got to get products on the site before we can launch this site and start trying to get sales. And there's a lot of work that goes into, once you have the designs, getting those shirts actually online and ready to go. Guten makes it pretty easy on us. But what we're going to do today is we're going to evaluate the designs. I'm going to start prioritizing them, trying to pick at least 10 to 20 and make sure we've got the colors right. We're going to, you're going to see how bad I am at Illustrator. We're going to try to set some colors, do some different things with the shirts, play around a little bit. Once we get colors right, we're then going to add that into Guten, choose our product that we're going to place that on, and then synchronize that over to BigCommerce. Hopefully we'll get through at least a bunch of those today, and then we can start talking about pricing, writing product descriptions, all of the things that go into trying to make these a little more unique. We are streaming only on YouTube today, so I'm hoping I can pay a little more attention to the chat. So if you happen to be catching this, let me know. And, this is going to be a conversation. We're going to be looking at designs. I want to know y'all's thoughts on them. We're going to be choosing colors and different things. But again, we've got a new setup here that's a little different than what I'm used to. So we're going to start by picking a design and trying to get some colors together. So easy peasy. All right, I'm going to go to screen share mode here and see if this is still functioning like I think it should be. All right, looks like we've got a screen share there. So these are our designs. We've got a bunch of them along the bottom here, different color variations and things that the designer has put together. I'm going to scroll all the way over. She has like comps on actual shirts. So some of these are Illustrator files, some of these are PNGs for me to be able to upload to Guten. And then she's got actual like shirt comps over here as well. So I want to, and again, we've gone through a bunch of designs, so we've got a lot of them. So we've got actual shirt comps here. So this is the barrel proof design. I'm not a huge fan of that one. Like, I think it's okay. But like, I really like this barrel proof design. She designed it originally on like a dark gray, but I don't like how the colors are completely different across the different shirts. I mean, obviously they're going to have to be dark and light, but like you go from a black shirt to a dark gray shirt, not sure why we would change the colors completely. Like the white would work there, or the tan would work over here. This shirt is actually kind of a play on the old Elijah Craig barrel proof bottle. Let's see what we can find. So it's kind of a play on their logo, and see, they use kind of that tan, that really soft, light, off-white color, with red lettering across here. So I think I like that a little more than what we've got here. Now we obviously don't have any lettering. The barrel here is a little more detailed, but I don't know. What are y'all thought? You know, we've got a few people watching here. Let me know your thoughts on. Obviously, once we get to this light of a shirt, we're not going to be able to do that tan, and obviously on white, that's not going to work. But I think this is a good shirt. I think if we just did the off-white on this one, but I don't know. Here's my concern with these. When you do print on demand, the colors don't turn out quite as vibrant as they could. You know, if you were doing like a silk screen or something like that, like the colors can be incredibly vibrant. But when you do print on demand and they're doing direct to garment printing, they come out a little more muted. Which if you run some tests and you know exactly what you're going to get, you can actually use to your benefit, especially if you're doing that faded style and everything that goes into it. Cal likes the light gray. Let me grab my shirt samples. I've got some shirt samples that we had sent to us. I'm going to grab those. So I've got a big bundle of product samples here. Let's just go back and look at this real quick. I've got some hats, which we're not going to do right now, and then I've got a wad of shirts. So this is like I think I've shown this one if you've been watching along. This is the horse collector shirt. And so these colors look great on this dark gray. But it's a little more, this color is a lot more faded than the design. And you can kind of see as the shirt lightens up, you know, it's, I don't know, maybe you can't see it. That's a bit more vibrant, even though it's the exact same color, exact same print, but it's a good bit more vibrant because it's on that lighter shirt. These were the eCommerce holiday, the first samples we got that I didn't really care much for. And so, you know, and this one is, see how that seems to be, again, the camera can play with it, but in person, that color is a bit more vibrant. That orange is a bit more vibrant than it's going to be on the dark shirt. And this one, you know, it's kind of in between those two as far as color goes. So I think we're going to offer the shirts in multiple colors. So we're going to offer, it's print on demand. We can offer it in all the colors in the rainbow. Like, it doesn't hurt us at all to offer it in every color, other than it's more work for us in making sure that the design itself will work on those colors. Because what you don't want is where you have like these hat samples where I just sent them a logo. I didn't specify a color hat. And so I've got a blue thread on a blue hat. And that just doesn't work. Like you can't even see or a blue thread on a black hat. So we've got to go through and just make sure all these colors work, and you can sell it in a million choices. But at the same time, we don't want paralysis from people not being able to pick a particular shirt. So let me sort these samples out. I'm just trying to find the ones that are worth showing. Some of these we ordered from another shirt company to see what kind of shirts they were shipping out. And that's what those are. So we just got to make sure that we don't end up with a situation like this, that the colors actually look good on the shirts that we've chosen. But I'm definitely going to do a light gray. We're going to do a dark gray. We're going to do a black, and we're going to do a white. So it's going to be like 50 shades of gray, which has completely different connotations here. Yeah, the orange does pop on the lighter shirt, but it still works on the darker shirt. But there will be scenarios where colors don't. Like obviously here, we had to swap the dark outline on this one to a light outline. So we've got to go through and take what our designer has done and just make sure we're happy with it. And then we got to create some products. So all good times. All right, so let me switch back to my screen share here. Oh, I'm going to, so y'all can still see me. All right, so I like this barrel-proof shirt. I think we're going to put it up there. I like this version. I think this off-white is a little too yellow, so I'm going to lighten that up just a little bit, and then I'm going to put that same color here. And then here it looks like a black, and then here it looks like a dark gray. The problem, like I haven't seen... Let's see, let's look. We went to a light color on those. See, I'm assuming that's about the color that this shirt's going to be. So I think the dark gray looks really good on this lighter gray color. So it gives us, it looks a little faded. I don't know, black may contrast a little too much. So I think what we're going to do is on this one, we're going to go, I like the dark gray. On this one, we're going to go to that dark gray look as well. And then these two will use a lightened version of this. And so we need to find our barrel proof Illustrator file. If I can, like at this point, I may have too many shirt designs. I'll be honest with you. I may have too many shirt designs. Okay. All right. Barrel proof design 1. Let that sucker up there. All right, so we don't want design 1. I'm not a huge fan of design 1. So I'm going to, let's take a look. Okay, design 2. All right. Just full screen. Make sure you guys can see it full screen here. Okay, so it looks lighter here than it did in the comp, but I think we'll be under. All right. So all of these are a layer. Anyway, like I said, I'm not going to be super efficient. So I'm just going to, I mean, we're not going to be real scientific. I just want it to be an off-white, but not extremely, just, I'm going to go with whatever I like. We're not going to be crazy scientific about it, but we're just going to swap this to a lighter off-white. And I think I like that. So I think that's good. And save. Now we can use this same PNG for both shirts when we do our comps in Guten. So we don't have to worry so much about creating the light gray and the dark gray and whatever, as long as we're using the exact same color scheme. I've just got to then get this into a PNG. So export as, I believe I should be able to do that. I'm going to just put stream in front of that, so I know it's one that I've worked on here in this stream. All right, so we've got that one. Let's look for our, the one she had on white was good. I like this one here. It's got the dark gray and everything. I think that one's really good. So we're gonna, I mean, she's already got it, but as far as like having the PNG, but I'll export it, make sure we're all good to go. All right, check it in the chat here. Cal, are the shirts traditionally screen printed or die sub? You know, traditionally, I think screen printing's been around a lot longer than direct to garment printing. What a lot of these are basically like a modernized version of like an iron-on or a press-on. It's a lot better than that. Like, don't think these are not quality shirts. Like, these are, you know, very nice prints, but it's not, you know, they don't put it on a press and then silk screen it on. It's going to be run through a machine. They're going to be, you know, stretched flat and run through a machine, almost like an inkjet printer that then puts the ink on here. But the ink is not as thick. The benefits are that you could do all sorts of crazy colors, right? Like, we don't have to, like with silk screening, if we're going to do, for every color we use, there has to be a screen made. And that, you know, greatly increases how complicated it is to create the shirt. With direct to garment printing, we can get just about as crazy as we want. And then we don't have to, obviously with screen printing, it's a big setup process to run through all of those shirts. And so you've got to order a bunch of them. I'd have to order, you know, 100 shirts, 300 shirts and store them here. And the great thing about this is once all of this is set up, once we have an order, they just print one shirt and they mail it. Like, they don't have to, but if we want to start, and I do, like, if we get to where we find one shirt that's a breakaway star, or maybe our top 5 sellers, we will start printing a bunch of these and inventorying them so we can ship them out faster. So that's all kind of part of the plan as we go through this. But there's a lot of advantages to direct to garment printing. I think silk screening to me is a little, at least perceived a little better quality, just because of the vibrancy of the colors and, you know, the durability of it. And I'm not real sure about this, but having this in my hand, feeling this print, like, this is really, really nice. And if you're printing, oftentimes that thick silk screening ink, like, just makes the shirt heavy, especially if you're printing on, you know, we're doing really, really soft shirts here. On these super soft shirts, I think this might actually be better because it's a real thin print. It doesn't make the shirt stiff, doesn't add a bunch of weight to the front of it. So how many designs do you have, and approximately how much did you invest in getting them created? That is a magical question. Let's look. Like, I don't really know, but we're gonna have, she did all of the designs and then all of the variations in here. So not only do we have shirts, but we have all of the variations in a file. So if we're gonna, you know, variations, I wouldn't count as its own shirt. So let me look. I've got these pulled up here somewhere else, but I don't want to lose that document. But I've got it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in here. I think there's 3 or 4 of them. So let's just say 10 different designs there. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And then in here, there's a couple. So roughly 30 designs that we have had created. And I say that, I don't even think I've put the beer ones in there yet. So we might actually be 35 or so. And I'm going to log into, I found the designer on Upwork. I'm going to log in, but I'm not going to show you all of that. And I am going to figure out exactly what she's charged me, because that's the only thing I've had her do is design shirts and do the color variations for them. So let me log in and see where I'm at right now with her. I may have to separate it out. Okay, so I've spent $1,123.34 for 30 something shirts. So what's the math on that? What's the math on that? I'm not going to do it in my head. $1,123.34 divided by, I'm going to say roughly 35 shirts. It's cost me like $32 a shirt or something like that, which is incredible. Now, I've brought her all of the ideas, but I would literally just say, I want a shirt barrel proof. We want to do a barrel proof shirt. That's it. That's like everything I gave her. I said, we want to do a barrel proof shirt. And she comes back with 2 or 3 designs. Sometimes I love all of them. Sometimes I love one of them. Sometimes they're all okay, and I send her back to the drawing board. But I mean, she's been incredible. I don't want to give out her info because I don't want her bogged down with work right now if somebody else is trying to do something similar, because she's so incredible. But she's fairly well in demand, but she's really quick. I mean, seriously, sometimes I'd give her an idea. She'd come back with 2 or 3 designs later that day or the next day. So very efficient. I mean, obviously, based on what I'm paying her per hour, which I think is $20 or $25 an hour, she's only spending an hour to $20 an hour. So she's spending an hour and a half per design on average to do this in vector. And that's the variations and all the colors and the mock-ups and everything. I'm going to spend an hour and a half just trying to change color on this one freaking shirt she sent me here. So, she's been awesome. All right. So we've got this design. We've set those up. So let's go to Guten now and let's get this thing added into, okay. I've got a stop sharing down on my toolbar there. So, all right. I thought I was already logged into Guten. Let me check and make sure I'm not. Did I close that window? I guess I did. So we're going to log in again. All right. So I'm logged in. I just closed the tab. Okay. So we've had one order, which is me. Yay. All right. So product catalog. And so this is Guten's back end. If and they've got a lot of different things. We're gonna stick to shirts here, unisex. We really like the Gildan 6400s, which is what not all, but a lot of my samples here are Gildan 6400s. And now we've got to choose our colors. Now, because we've got a light art and a dark art, we're going to need to try to kind of navigate that. So that's going to be interesting. I haven't done a different art across the shirt. So we're going to go with black. We're going to go with the dark heather. We're going to go with the sport gray. We're going to go with the white. Magento in the chat, Magento 2 learning path. I'm not sure what you're asking. Clarify. Happy to talk about Magento 2. Not what we're working with here, but there's a lot of great resources out there for Magento 2 learning. But what are you trying to learn? Let me know. Cal says it's a great price. I mean, it depends, right? 8 to 20. 8's a great price. 20, not so much. So we'll see. But it depends. Like, you can print center front, center back. You can print both. So obviously printing both greatly increases your price. We're just going to go center front, which, kind of limits our options. I want all the sizes. Like, there's just no reason not to have all the sizes because, big boys need shirts too. So that's like 27 SKUs we now have to deal with. So we're going to continue through to build this product out. All right. So we can upload artwork and apply it to all, or we can upload artwork to one. Now I want this managed as one product. So it just syncs over to BigCommerce as one product. Um, so this is going to take a little extra work because now I have to, if it was the same art across all the dark and light shirts, then I could just upload it once and then say, apply to all, and it would just apply to all. In this case, because it's different for the dark and the light, I may have to go through and do this manually. We'll see. I don't know. Haven't tried it. So I'm going to upload new art, import from device. We are on the desktop with our shirt designs here, and this is the black version. And we're going to select that. Okay. It imported the background exported with my PNG. So I gotta go fix that real quick. I don't need the background, so I need to export that one more again. All right, let's see. I don't know about this one. Did this one export with the background as well? It did. All right. I'm telling y'all, I'm terrible at Illustrator. I can get the job done. Don't get me wrong, but I am not going to be efficient with it, nor do I want to be. All right, so we got those issues corrected. Let's replace the artwork now and get the right one. Okay. There we go. There we go. All right, so now how big is too big? This is the magical question that I do not have a great answer to. But what I want to do is I want to remember. What are y'all's thoughts? Like on this shirt here, I printed it all the way up to the top, pretty much, at least fairly high, and then not too huge. And I think this size is good, but I'm not sure how big folks like their t-shirt designs. So I think we're going to go about 75% on this. And then we're going to make it all the way up at the top, and then just make sure we've center aligned it. That's what I'm thinking. What do y'all think? Let me know. So you could bulk upload artwork. That's again little more difficult because all of these are different. Let me wonder if yeah, see that uploaded it to all of them, and then I'm gonna have to go through and replace the ones that need the other version. So that kind of messed them all up, but now I gotta redo the size. And 75 all the way to the top, center. I don't think it could go any higher than that, but so I'm gonna have to do this for each and every one. Oh, apply edits to all SKUs. Okay. That's what we're doing here. Now we're cooking with gas. Cal, have you actually ordered some at 75%? Because honestly, I don't remember what I scaled these down to. But if you ordered some shirts with 75%, that looks right to me on the screen. Like 75% looks right, but I'm just not 100% sure. So we're gonna go with it, and if we get a bunch of complaints, we'll come in here and adjust the size. All right, so that one's good. I thought it was replacing my edits with all SKUs. Let's try this one more time. Go to 75% again. It has not. So Okay. All right. Well, we got a little bit of work to do then here. Seems to have moved it to the top. Okay. Well, that one applied it to all. Although now that one's super small. I think it's 75%ed my 75%. Or is this, is it just because it's a different size shirt that it just gets smaller and smaller and smaller? I guess that's because the shirt is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay. All right. Makes sense. Makes sense now. That's on me. Not understanding. See, like that looks great on that shirt, but that's a small shirt, and then a medium shirt, and then a large shirt, and then an extra large shirt, and then 2XL, and then 3XL. It's just going to be a small print on the front of it. I think we designed for large. Anybody in the chat disagree? I think average male is going to be a large. But so I think that looks good on large. All right. So let's all right. So this one again, I think this light tan looks good on this shirt. I wish this gray were a little darker. This is a dark heather, so like this is not a dark heather. I think it's going to look a little darker when it comes out. I think this is going to be. I think this is the dark heather, so I think that off-white will hold up on this dark of a shirt, even though on my screen it looks a little lighter. So I think we're going to go with it. I may order this shirt though, just to be sure. I'm a little concerned about, not having enough contrast, especially with the barrel. But it's all good. All right, so here's where we get to where this definitely does not work. So I'm going to have to replace the artwork. We're going to upload it. We're going to then choose this right here. Select. And now we've got to redo our magic. I do not want it to apply to all SKUs. %, horizontal align. Take it all the way to the top. Horizontal align it. All right, so I'm just kind of looking to see about my positioning, if I'm pretty dang close. Looks like it's pretty close here. I wished I could just Guten. I wished I could just copy from the previous one to the next one. I wished I could do that. I wished I could just click this and say copy the settings from the other one. If you happen to be watching, that would be cool. Because this is the scenario where that would come in handy, right? And I guess I could have done all the dark ones and then all the light ones and applied it to it. I don't know if I could merge them in the system where they're one shirt though. I don't know. Maybe I could, maybe I can't. Maybe it's just a lack of understanding of how to use the system that's holding me back. But this is the way we're going to do it, and it's just going to take a minute. Going to take a minute, and then I need to do this 20 times. Not all of them have, I know they pretty much all are going to have different art. Like that's just kind of the thing. I wish this would just snap to the top though. Like it should not let me move it up and out of the boundary. I mean, maybe somebody wants it cropped, so I get it, but I wish there was a snap to, so I could just make sure I'm right there at that same spot each and every time. This is riveting content right here, people. Riveting content. Do me a favor, all three of you that are watching, I'm one of the four. Hit the like button on this sucker, because you're not going to get more exciting content on YouTube. I mean, I know Mr. Beast is giving away millions of dollars, but watching me sit here and create T-shirts, got to be worth something. Uh, I don't know if I can do this all day. It's not my idea of a good time. What is this weird line I've got going on here? I don't know. Oh, man. Why did I pick so many different colors? So many different sizes. What was I thinking? And it's one of those where, do we make it bigger on the larger shirts? I mean, that is a thing that I gotta think about. Like I don't know. Um I mean, maybe it's in my best interest to bump that thing up to 80% on these 2X, 3X, 4XL shirts. Big boys got wider canvases. So maybe we need to take advantage of that. So like here, maybe we bump up to, 80, 85%, or maybe even 90% of what we got going on there. Oh, like why not? All right, Cal, you still there? Let me know. 90%? You think we should go bigger on the bigger sizes? I think so. I think so. Like, I mean, just be stupid not to at this point. All right, so I'm on the 4X. I'm gonna go back to the 3. I'm gonna bump that up to, let's see what that looks like at 90. All right, so the 2X, we may just go a little smaller, like 85. And then I think the extra large, maybe that's our 80. So we've got that's a 75%. So it's a big print, but um, and then XL we go to 80, and then we go to 85, and then 90, and then on the 4X we might bump that thing on up to full size. I like it. I like it. Big David Allen Todd. Go big or go home. All right, Cal. What do you think about 100 though on this 4X? Like 4X is it's a big old shirt, a big old wide canvas, so we can get some art on that sucker. Last thing you want is a big old T-shirt with a little bitty print in the middle. So I'm cranking that sucker up. Now I got to go back and fix these. That sucks. Why didn't somebody tell me before I did all these? 100%. Lord have mercy. I need to hire somebody to do this shit. Now I see why nobody starts a freaking site. I gotta do this on every shirt. Gonna take a minute. Gonna take a minute. I agree. I agree. David and Cal are agreeing with me in the chat here, so I must be doing something right. So 90, and then what did we do on the 2X? We went to 85. Why do I don't have a 4X of this. I only have a 3X of the dark heather. That doesn't come in 4X. So that one was going to be 90 then. So you got to be careful. Don't assume. Assuming makes I'll know what I'm saying. All right, then we go 85 on this All right. So then XL was 80. Oh, it's taking a lot longer than I expected. But we'll have it down from here on. I need to write this down. So when we're going back through and we're doing another shirt, if we do another shirt, I don't think y'all want to sit here and watch me do 20 of these. We're going to start talking about pricing and descriptions here in a minute, probably in about 20 minutes. I'm going to have my marketing director, Rory, on, and we're going to talk about descriptions, pricing, all of that fun stuff there. So XL is 80. Make sure XL is 80. Large is 75. So we got 75, 75, 75. So 80, and then we're down to the 75. So 80, and then we should be good to go on those. All right, so 4X. I even have a pen and some paper. I don't know. I need to see. I think I've got some notebooks back here somewhere. If I can find one. This is so crammed full of crap back here. Every book I own is in the drawer behind me. Yeah, I'm going to use a really, really nice leather-bound volume to write down shirt sizes. Although, it ain't no better than the crappy notes that are in here. All right, so 4X, we're going to do 100%. So the big boys have big prints. 3X. 3X, we're doing 90%. 2 is 85. And then XL is going to be 80%. And then the rest are 75%. Wonderful. Now we know. Now we know. Whew, man. All right, looks like we got a few extra folks joining us. Just to get everybody up to speed here, what we're trying to do is we're building out a print-on-demand site. And I'm showing you all of the detail, not just the glossy stuff that everybody wants to show you that's all glamorous. This is the BS you're going to actually have to deal with to build one of these sites. How big is the freaking design? What are the colors of the design? How do they print? So we're going through every aspect of it. I was hoping to get 20 products in here, but I'll be honest with you, I was expecting to move a little faster than we are this morning. So we might get 3 or 4, and I'll just have to finish the rest of them when I don't have a bunch of people wondering why I'm being so boring right now. All right, so I think we already got these like we wanted them, so we just need to do this, and then we need to do the white one. So also would like to be able to just type in a number right here. I'll be honest with you. The little slider, cool. But once I know exactly what percentage I want, I'm not going by look and feel. I want to snap to the top. I want to snap to the top, or a snap to the bottom, or a snap to the sides, or whatever. Like that would make my life a little easier here. I really like this tool. It really is. It really is pretty slick. But just making notes for Guten here. Not that they care about my notes, but would be a little useful. All right, so 90% on this one. Make sure that sucker's centered aligned, and then 85%. Again, making sure we're in the center. And then this is an extra large, so we want to go 80%. Making sure we're at the top. And we're not getting any cropped off there, and we're all good. All right, David Ty, appreciate you keeping it real. So, I'm just trying to show you this is not easy. because I could have just built the print on demand, did it all on the weekends. It would have taken a lot less time than me, running my mouth and trying to do it. I could have, brought in a few people to do all this grunt work and built it out, and then just said, hey, look, this is how I built $1 million drop shipping, assuming that we actually make that number. But that's most of what's on YouTube now. Look at what I did. I'm not really going to tell you anything that's going to help you, but look what I did. So, we're not trying to do that. I want to build it in real time. I want to either succeed and, have shown everything we did, or fail. Like, I'm good with failure. I don't care. I'm not going to get embarrassed by it if we don't make it, because this is not easy. The fact that I can type in a number on these things drives me up the wall. I agree. Like, I know what I want it to be. Just let me put it in there. I don't want to have to try to get that slider just right with my big meaty sausages. All right, so I think we've got all of these down to the white ones. We've got to replace the artwork here. We're going to go with this, and then 70, drag the slider and get it right to 75, and then up to the top, and then center align it, and that could be a little easier. It could be a little, like, it's not hard, but it's like when you're doing a bunch of them. Like, if I were doing one shirt, and it was all the same color design, and you could just apply your changes to everything, it's really simple. And that's the sample shirt I did. That's pretty much what I did, right? It was pretty much the same color scheme on every one of them. Wasn't a big deal. But then when you're trying to be, when you're trying to do something a little more tedious like this, there are just a few things they could do to make this a little easier on us. Especially, like I said, when I'm doing, I'm trying to do 20 shirts today, because if I don't, I got to have at least 10 to launch. Like, I'm not launching the site without 10. So, all right. So extra large is where we start bumping it up. And I really want to get this thing live. I want to do a launch party next week where we have ads running. We've got, some TikToks going out. We've started a TikTok account. I'm about to start a YouTube channel for Bruzel to show kind of how you want to generate sales through social media. The YouTube channel won't be ready in time for launch, but we're doing some shorts and things over here. But the TikTok's doing really well. Like, I've generated over 300,000 views in 3 weeks on TikTok about bourbon content. And so, we've gotten 4,500. I have more followers on Bruzel's TikTok in 3 weeks than 4 years of posting YouTube content about e-commerce. And it's probably because it's all just riveting like this content here is, and nobody really, only you diehard folks that enjoy this type of stuff care for this. But we're doing really well over there. Like, it's doing, and I'm interested to see how that's going to translate into sales, or if it translates into sales. Like, it may not at all, but we're going to run ads. There's a vibrant bourbon community on TikTok, which has been a bit of a surprise. So I'm excited to see what it'll do. What time is it? 9:49. So we've got about 10 more minutes before I bring Rory on here. So I'd like to at least get this product finished, and then we'll bring Rory on to talk about pricing it, the descriptions, things like that. All right, so this is the last one. This is the big boy where we're going to go 100% on this one. And it's already up at the top, and it's already centered aligned. So I'm going to go through them real quick and just make sure, but I think we are done. 75, 75, 75, 80, 85, 90, 100. And they all got the right art. This is the one that does not have 100, doesn't have a 4X in that color. That shifts a little bit. That could just be I think that's just the thumbnail. Yeah. All right, so we switch colors to the dark. All 75s, then 80, then 85, then 90, then 100. And then right color, right. Oh, look at that. See, 76%. Somebody was going to get a bonus percentage. We can't have that. We can't have that. because all the people who didn't get a bonus percentage would have felt left out. So 75, 75, 75, XL should be 80, 85, 90, 100. Okay, I think we're good. Check the chat here. Failure happens. It's going to be fun. I'm having a blast. Now, I don't have a ton of time for this. Honestly, it's one of the reasons I'm live streaming it, because it just forces me to sit down and do this. Block my calendar off, all calls, all other things that I'm worried about, get it all out of the way, and just get the grunt work of this site done, because I'm trying to not rely on someone else. I could have easily have hired someone to do all of this work, but I don't want to, because if you're trying to start something yourself, that's not easy to do. David says he makes a lot of notes on scratch paper. You know, I make a lot of notes too that I never even look back at. That's me. I'm that guy. All right, so let's continue to the next step. Look at here, it's generating our mock-ups. All right, so this is going to be your main thumbnail, and then, okay. So we've got all of our different sizes. We've got, all the different colors. And that's our mock-up. So let's continue that thing through. And now we've got a shirt. So we can give it a name. We can give it a description. They give you this default description with product name being t-shirts, which if you leave your product name t-shirts, you're not really trying to sell anything. But the description, this is an amazing soft style t-shirt that is a staple in every wardrobe. Featuring a rolled forward shoulder, double sleeve needle, and bottom hems, as well as a seamless double needle collar, Guten 6400 is extremely lightweight but durable. Your stunning designs will not go unnoticed on this crowd pleaser shirt. That description will make absolutely no sense to your buyer. Their designs, what are you talking about? Some people may want to know that it's a Gildan 6400. I think most of our audience is not going to care. They want it to be a nice soft shirt. Like what's a Gildan 6400? I have no idea. Now there are garment snobs out there that, just want this particular shirt or that particular shirt. We're not selling to those people. So we've got to figure out what this description is. I'm going to call this one, just barrel proof bourbon t-shirt. And I'm trying to we're going to tap into bourbon SEO, those kinds of things. I may change this at some point in the future, but I'm going to leave the description for now. I'm not too worried about that. Me and Rory are going to talk about it here in just a few minutes. And then it's stored in the Guten sales channel. I can actually create a customized neck label. And I'm not sure if this one's eligible, but they will. I'm assuming it's an inside print neck label. I haven't done any experiments with that, but I know with some of these, you can have the tags removed, your own tags put in. I don't think we're going that far right now. At some point in the future, we do want the shirts to be branded as our own and they're not Gildan 6400. They're Bruzel shirts. So I am publishing to storage. So now this is, okay. I disconnected my BigCommerce store, so I'm going to have to fix that. I was doing the video on it the other day, so I had to disconnect it to be able to reconnect it, and I guess I flubbed that up. I think this is me right here. I thought I'd already added it, but apparently I had not. So now it is there. We want to go back to our products and make sure. How do I add it to that that store, that sales channel right here? So I check this box right here, and we can, are there any options? Okay, so we can do a hold for personalization. If you see this over here on the right, that is going to allow us, with some of these shirts, we're going to print your name on them. So we're going to do, we've got one that is like when you buy a barrel of bourbon, like a store will buy a barrel, and they get to pick the barrel they want and the flavors, and it has a little logo on it here, which you can see down here. We're going to do a shirt of that, and that one's going to require personalization because you're going to be able to put your own, like in this, the store that picked it puts their name or their logo. We're going to allow folks to put their own name, like the Gamble Bourbon Club or the Cal Evans Bourbon Club or the David Todd Allen Private Select or something like that, right? So we're going to experiment with these different things, but for now, our goal is just to get up and selling. And so the Private Select shirt is one I want to do a big launch on, but I want to continue to grow our audience, and we'll roll that one out in a few weeks or a month or so and do a real big promotion around it. So, you know, we want to try to generate buzz around it. So hit save, and hopefully this will now add it to the Bruzel store. All right, look, Todd, let's see, make a lot of, okay. Cal, for mine, I added a paragraph about how awesome the design was and then left most of the text stuff below that. Not bad. Who are you using for print on demand, Cal? I would join the Cal Evans Bourbon Club as well, especially if you're buying barrel picks. All right, so we can click over here on our store, and we can see that this shirt is now published. Does it view in store? There we go. So for this Bruzel site, you know, what we've done is I had a live stream a couple of weeks ago where we picked a theme, and what we've done is just strip a lot of crap out of it. Like there's a lot of crap we didn't need. I just want it basic. We don't want anything fancy. We just want straight to sales. So obviously we're going to want to change this, and we're going to want to add things back as we go. Like this shirt here, this shirt may honestly be ready to go. I may go in there and edit it and just make sure all the colors. I think I screwed up the thumbnails. The only thing I just absolutely dislike about this, I'm gonna get rid of my overlay here so y'all can see it. The only thing I dislike about this right here is the thumbnails, in that the thumbnails, each size and color has a thumbnail. So small black has a thumbnail, medium black has a thumbnail, large black has a thumbnail. And I get it, because if you choose black and then you choose, you know, 4XL, obviously it's a little bit of a different shirt, right? The size of the print's different. But honestly, the only real difference to the customer that most people would care about is the color. So I would really like when you change colors for it to, okay, well, oh, Dark Heather is not available in 4XL and it's not disabled. Well, that could be a problem. I may have to get rid of the dark. Why is that not disabled? I need to look into that. But when you choose a color, like, it doesn't change. And then you've just got all these thumbnails that are the same exact color that make no sense to the user. And so I'm okay with this changing to, you know, the big version of that. Like, I'm good with that. But I don't necessarily want to show them all over here when you're thumbing through. So I've got some customizations to do to this guy, but again, not something I'm particularly worried about at this point. WordPress WooCommerce. Wait, but which print-on-demand supplier? I didn't see. Did I miss a note about which one you're using? Of course, WordPress WooCommerce, even though, I mean, I would disagree with that decision, but it's not a bad one. It's not a bad one. So I need to figure out why this Dark Heather is actually here. Like, I don't understand it. So, all right, well, let's go to our products. Let's let's check that one out. Of course, we've got to set pricing on these. I think I could have set pricing when I went through those shirts before. I don't know. I need to look at that. Can you set pricing on Guten, or do I have to go into BigCommerce and set those up? All right, variations. So dark heather 4X is not a thing, but it's also not disabled. Can I add it to my cart? Obviously, this is a flaw with the theme. How was I able to choose dark heather 4XL when it does not exist? So this might not be a problem with the theme. Dark heather. So black, small, medium, large. Dark heather, small, medium, large, extra large, double X, triple X. But there's no dark heather 4XL. There's not one. Okay. I guess it's the way it sets up the variants. That's no good. I wonder what would happen if I ordered that. I mean, I guess Guten would just kick that order out. But no thumbnail exists, but this is not, it's not disabled. So we're going to have some work to do there. And honestly, I may need to remove the dark heather until we've got that figured out. That sucks. Or the 4X. I could remove the 4X as an option on all of them. Just make sure all sizes are available for all sizes that we're printing on. Jeez, that sucks. I don't know. It's a problem I'm going to punt. I'll figure it out later when we're not on camera. 10 o'clock. I think I'm going to bring Rory on if he's up and available. I'm going to ping him and see. I don't see him. Now, he's West Coast. So he was going to come on at 10 a.m. He's West Coast. It's 8 a.m. for him. Printful. Okay. Yeah, it probably filters URL. So Printiful. Yeah. And those are good. Like Guten doesn't normally work with folks that are just getting started. I just kind of talked them into it. Told them I would get them a bunch of views on their on this series, and so I lied to them apparently. I thought this series would do better than it has done. You know, not that we've put a ton of effort into finding the right titles and topics. Like it's just been really a little more gritty. But I want to figure that out. Like moving forward, we're going to start trying to take this series up a few notches. But you know, I just thought talking about drop shipping print on demand would just do a little better on YouTube than the technical stuff we've been talking about. All right, so just retrieving our store URLs. Okay, let's close that and come back here. All right, so we've got the barrel proof shirt in there. Great. I will let you know when I hear from Rory. I have not, so we'll just move on to our next shirt and see what you know. We'll jump in with Rory whenever he is available. All right, so the next shirt. Let's see. We've got these broken down. I want to see the actual comps. Let's go gallery mode here. Get over to the shirt comps. There's too many. Like it just takes forever to find anything here. All right. So these are the barrel proof shirts. I like this one. Obviously, we just added that one. We do have a beer shirt. On the website, I've created bourbon shirts, beer shirts. So we need some beer shirts on the site. Um, let me know. Okay, Cal is next month. He's releasing his first design. Awesome. I look forward to seeing it. What niche have you picked? What is it? Is it going to be programming related stuff? Are you doing like WordPress, WooCommerce shirts for that community? I think that could do really well. Or did you just pick something completely outside that for a new experience? The good thing about this, well, the beer shirt again, the foam's good there. The foam's good there. The foam doesn't really work in this one. We may have to drop that and add an outline around it to make that work. Like foam is not that color. And so as soon as you make it that color, it doesn't work. So I'm probably going to have the designer. That's beyond what I'm going to try to tackle here. We do have this one, which is just kind of beer coming out of a can. I like these colors. I don't know why she would change them from this to this. Maybe those two colors were just a little too close, but I think if we just take that can and lighten it up a bit, it'll work on both of those. And then here went darker so that, it contrasts a little more. I'm okay with the darker can, even though I don't know, would a dark gray be better than the blue? Again, not real sure about that one. This one's simple. Again, not sure why she did 4 different colors for the different shirts. I think this one's easy because we can just pick one of these colors and upload it as a shirt. So we've got green, we've got blue, and crimson. Either one of those look better to y'all than the others? I'm probably leaning green, but what do y'all think? Blue? And then kind of the red. The red looks pretty good. I'm not a big fan of the blue. Which beer design did you like, Cal? I liked them all. I really like this one. It just doesn't work on the light shirts, and I want it to. So I think I'm just going to have her go back and, find a color. Like this color seems to work pretty well, but I don't think it works on the light shirt. So I'm going to skip it for now and come back. This shirt again works pretty good, but it's 2 colors. I want something that's a little simpler. Like I can just pick one logo on this one. I don't think I even need to change the colors. They'll work. The Stein, I like it too. I think that was my favorite of the beer designs. But we may work on it here in a second. Yeah. So now the question is it just a dark shirt and we just skip the light versions? Like you just can't get a white one. And we just do the dark ones and maybe we add the white later. That's an option. Nothing wrong with that. Sometimes shirts just don't work on every color. So let's do that. Let's just do this one and do it in dark colors. And that's it. Maybe we add something that we'll choose all the dark colors and not any of the light colors. So we may do a blue or whatever. We just offer, several color variations, but they're all the light colors. So let's get, I think her PNG on this will work just fine. So her PNG here, that's her mock-up. This should be her PNG for it. Beer Design 1. So that's where I want to be. This is where I want to be right here. So we're going to add a new product. Let's just do a new one. Oh, I feel like we've been here before. Unisex. We're going with the Gildens. We're going to go with the 6400 soft style. And then we are going to print on the center front. We've got black. We've got cardinal red. We got a dark chocolate. We got a dark heather, a navy. I wonder if that'll work on orange. And a red. Let's see. Let's see what these, we're going to see what these look like. We may drop some of these colors. We may drop some, but I want to see what it looks like. All right. So we want to use the exact same one all the way across this. We don't want to. Can I drag and drop? Yeah, I can drag and drop. So, yeah, this is full screen now. All right, we'll just go the old-fashioned way here. All right, so we're going beard design one black dot png. Beard design one black png. Select that. All right. Again, we're gonna drop that down to 75%. Move it up toward the top. I want to apply it to all SKUs. That way, all of the smaller sizes are taken care of, and we just got to go back and fix the bigger ones where we resize it a little bit. All right. It is applying it, and it is taking its sweet time. Fast as molasses. Thanks, Cal. I appreciate you joining, man. Been keeping it lively, keeping it interesting. Okay, this appears to be stuck. I guess we're going to have to start over. Oh, just riveting stuff here. So I guess we're going to do it again. Ship to worldwide, unisex, Gildan 6400. We're going to choose all the dark colors and I just want to see what this thing looks like on some of these colors that I haven't really been experimenting with. So we're going to choose all the sizes available. Center front for our print. And just roll on. Again, for those that might be just joining, we are just playing around. What we're doing is we're building a print-on-demand e-commerce site. We're using Guten for that, and we're just going through the process of setting up products and getting those imported into our e-commerce store. So it's not the most riveting and exciting of content, but this is what you got to go through to build a site like this, right? Like it is a ton of grunt work that is just like not fun, not sexy, not exciting. You've just got to do a bunch of work and get it all done. So Guten is not loving this particular design for some reason and applying it to all of these 52 images. I'm going to give it a little longer. I gave up on it and restarted the page there, reloaded the page. So we'll see if it comes through. Right. One of 52 images, but then it never applies it. So I really don't want to have to go through and do this on each and every one. You know what? I know what the problem is. Their system should be smarter than that, though. Should be smarter than that. If I can break it that easy, it's too easy to break. But the problem is that I did not use the bulk upload, which means that none of the other shirts had images on them yet. So when it goes to apply my changes to all of those images, doesn't know what to apply them to, and it just freezes. So not the best user experience there, but all right. So now, hopefully, this will work, right? We're going to go down to 70. We're using 75%. All right, so 75% on this one. center line this sucker. It's supposed to be applying my changes to all SKUs here. Let's see if this one is the same. Yeah, look at that. Now, what does it look like on Cardinal Red? And I almost want it to be off center though, right? Like it's with this big Stein handle. Like I almost want it to be centered like that. But I'm wondering if that's going to be just awkward, having it off center like that. I think the Cardinal Red works. Really do. Let's go with the dark. I think that's fantastic. That's probably the best one that goes with this color. Dark Heather looks fantastic. Navy looks good, although on my screen it looks black. I don't know. Like it's not bad, but it blends a little bit, and I think that lower beer, I think we get rid of these orange. I think we're gonna get rid of the orange. Yeah, the orange doesn't really work for me. I mean, I think that looks fine, but I don't really like that color. We're gonna drop it. Of course, I'm selling to other people, not just selling to myself, so other people may like the color. Let me know if you're in the chat, just so, kind of fill you in on what we're up to. We are building a print-on-demand site. And so we are taking the designs that I've had created and we're uploading them to Guten and then syncing those over to our website. So we're making product decisions and different things. All right, so red, I don't like that. That's not a good color combo. So we're getting rid of the red. So that leaves us with navy, which again looks black on my screen. Dark Heather, which I really like. The dark brown, I think, looks really good with this design. The Cardinal Red, I think that kind of works. The black looks good. My concern is with this design, the beer is not centered because you've got this big handle. It's just, it really pushes it over. So I think I'm going to budget just a little over there. So it's not exactly a center printed design. And I wonder what that's going to feel like if it's off center a little bit. I just wonder what that's going to, this is more centered than the handle, right? Not sure. But we're going to go with it. Okay. So what we've been doing is 75%, the design 75% on small, medium, large, and then extra large, we're going to bump those up to 80%. So we need to take that one to 80%. Make sure it's not cropped here. I really do wish I had a snap to top so that I don't have to worry about this thing. So we're going to 80 and then 85. And if you're in the chat, let me know. Let me know you're there. We're just having a good time doing some e-commerce work here. 3XL, we're going to bump this up to 90%. And then 4X, we're going to go to 100%. All right. Son of a. That button over there just got me. It just got me. I was applying those changes to all of my shirts, and that's not what I wanted to be doing. Not what I wanted to be doing. This is just like mind numbing work. Like, this is just horrible, horrible work. And it's not hard, it's just really monotonous, right? Like, it's just this just takes a lot of time. It's very meticulous, getting them just right, figuring out the size, getting your images in here, doing all of this work. It's just mind numbing. I sit on the front of my chair, and every once in a while, if I lean just right on it, it engages the shock, and the shock goes down just a little. So if you keep seeing me trying to fix my chair, that's what that's about. All right, so we should be 85, 80, 85, 90, and then we're gonna go jump to 100% on. Yeah, I may end up freaking hiring somebody to do all this work though. I'm gonna be honest with you. May end up hiring somebody. I've got at least 20 of these I want on the site by next week. So, it's just a lot of work. Just a lot of work to go through and set all of these up. And then, we haven't even dealt with the descriptions or pricing or anything like that yet, which is going to, take even more time. So, it's a lot of work if you're going to do a bunch of these, not to mention the time invested in getting the concepts, setting the designs up, doing all of that kind of stuff. So 3X, this doesn't have a 4X version. So 3X is going to be what, 90%? All right. Yeah. So next time you're dealing with your favorite print on demand shop, just understand it took some work for them to get that thing together. Dark chocolate. All right. What are we on? XL, so we're going to go to 80% there. And so I've been streaming now for an hour and a half, and we're just about to finish the second product. Now, granted, I'm talking the whole time, so that really slows it down. I've been trying to explain some things, and that really slows it down. But this is just not quick work. Like, there's just no real way. There's a few tools they could provide here that would make it a little bit easier. Like, I wished I could do all the XLs at one time and just apply it to all of the XLs, but not all of the products. And if we could snap to this or snap to that, like there are tools that they could do that maybe other print on demand providers do. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. That would make this a little easier, or maybe there's some way I could like create an Excel file and dump it in here that just generated all of these. But I don't know. I'm not aware of those tools at this point if they exist. But man, would I love a way to speed this up right here. What's today? Today Wednesday. I hear some folks outside. I don't know. I was like making sure I didn't forget the trash today, right? Probably just another package. Probably my wife shopping on Amazon. I think half my income goes to Amazon at this point. Small, medium, large. All right. Everybody keeps coming in and going. I know this is just riveting content. But if y'all would comment, if you got any questions, if you want to talk about e-commerce, if there's anything down there you want to talk about, happy to talk about it instead of just rambling about the shirts and what I'm doing here, right? So ask me questions. Ask me anything. Let me post that down here. I need to put that up on the stream there. Ask me anything. Let's talk about something, right? Keep seeing folks bounce in and bounce out, but all right. 85%, and then move it down, and then 90%. Again, I'm probably going to stop. I was planning on doing some streams about pricing and things at this point, but haven't seen Rory online yet. It looks like he's there. So all right, so I'm going to send him the link. So I'm going to get this shirt done, and then we're going to start talking about product pricing and things like that. So, it's 4X, so we're going to go 100% on this big mamma jamma right here. All right, beer. What's for dinner? Just make sure all of these are kind of in the right place. Looks like they are. I dig the red one a lot more than I thought I would. I'll be honest. I didn't think that was going to be that good of a color combo. So I'm glad I just clicked on them. Like, that's just try them, right? Like, you just never can tell. Somebody may want a red shirt. I don't know. People like red shirts. They'd quit selling them if people didn't buy red shirts. So, all right. So this is our matrix of all of our available options. We're going to hit continue, and we're just going to give it some generic name. We're not going to capitalize that H right there. We want it stored in Guten, and we want it. We don't need to hold for personalization. We're not going to do a neck label. And so now that is being published to our store. So that is going to get sent over to BigCommerce here in just a second, and we'll be able to see it over there and then categorize it. So we've got a category for bourbon shirts and beer shirts. I've only got a few beer shirts right now. Shelby, hey, how's it going? It says Guten is actively developing to apply changes to all variants of a particular size. Yeah, that would be fantastic. Matter of fact, I'm going to run through my notes. I'm still waiting on Rory here. So I'm going to run through my notes on what would be good. And I'm sure you're aware of all of these things, but when I'm going in here to add a product, I choose this, I choose my brand. We're going to go with the 6400. I'm going to choose some colors, some sizes. Like, we're not going to actually finish this product. So center front, which I always miss that one because it's grayed out. All right, so I get here and I upload my artwork. All good. So I select my artwork. It would be really, really awesome if I could take this and snap it to that top or snap it to the side. Like, because I'm afraid I'm going to like I can't get them. I want them all perfectly aligned. And I'm doing this on a tiny little, that snap would be really nice. And then what you're talking about where I can say, I want this applied to, only the larges, that would be fantastic. So just a few little things like that, or even like this, just snap to top or something like that would be exceptional. But so far it's been easy. It's taken a little more work than I anticipated. Taking a little more work than I anticipated to go through these, but some of that is getting the colors right and things like that. But we're rocking and rolling. We're getting this thing going. We got, folks coming in and out. But little things like that, that's really been the only issue. I do have this problem I've got to work out. Dark Heather is not available in 4XL. And so I'm not sure right now if this is a BigCommerce problem or the way that it was imported over to the site, or a theme problem. Like, it could just be a problem with my theme. But Dark Heather is not available in 4XL, but that is an option here that I can select and I can add it to my cart. And you see it didn't change the thumbnail, whereas if I chose any other size, so, it knows it's not available because it doesn't have a thumbnail to show. It's just showing the default thumbnail. but I've got to figure out why someone can buy that size, because obviously that's going to get to you and you're going to be like, we don't have that. We got to figure that out. I got some work to do there, obviously, but everything seems to be going really, really smooth. We've got, let's see here. We have Product Hub, BigCommerce. All right, so this is my test subject. I'm probably going to delete it and redo it. But I really like this feature here. Just view that sucker in the store. Makes it really easy. Again, some thumbnail problems. I don't really love the thumbnail situation I've got going on with this theme, but it's good enough to get it launched. I'm going to get Rory on here in just a second. Let me get him a link so he can join. He can't join until I give him access. I gotta do that. All right, let's get Rory in here. So I got somebody else to talk to. I'll let y'all know when he joins. It's red. I'm telling you, I like this red. The dark chocolate, which my thumbnails are a little slow. The navy really looks like that. That's too dark. I don't know if that navy is actually that dark of a shirt. But it is what it is. I believe that color is currently out of stock, which is why it is showing the default. I'm happy to walk you through, or out of stock. Like, we definitely want to talk about that, but it wasn't an option. So when I went to build the shirt, dark heather in 4XL wasn't an option. And so I didn't choose it. Like, it's not a variant in the site at all. And so when it syncs over, it's not a variant in the site, but it's still like, and again, it may be the theme having an issue to where it doesn't disable this option. But it could be how the variants are actually being imported in when Guten is sending them over. It could be some flaw with BigCommerce. Like, I'm not real sure. I haven't run into this issue before, so I need to do a little more investigation to give some adequate feedback on what that size issue is. But I want to say that's the same case in some of these. There was one like this. Cardinal Red is not available. If I go into the admin of BigCommerce and I look right here, this shirt, which I forgot to change the name of, I guess. If I go to my variations and I look, Cardinal Red is small, medium, large, extra large, 2XL, 3XL. There is no 4XL of Cardinal Red. And so it doesn't exist. It's not there. So Guten has sent that over theoretically correct. And so BigCommerce should not allow me to then purchase that option that does not exist. And I'm not extremely sure why it is allowing me to add that item to my cart. Like, I can go ahead and add it to my cart. I can go ahead and proceed to checkout, I assume. Yeah, so that's in my cart. I've got 3 shirts in my cart right now that don't exist. So it's a bit of a problem. I may have missed this, but what design is your favorite? Well, we'll kind of look at some of the designs here. We've got a bunch of designs created that I've got to go through. I really like this BTAC series here. I'm going to get to the actual, like, I had my designer create mock-ups on shirts so we could just kind of see what the colors would look like to try to get them right for this process to walk through. So we've got, the barrel-proof design. We've got, that one's not my favorite. I like this one. It's pretty good. The beer design, the Stein one's really good. That one's okay. Not a huge fan. That one's kind of plain. The hops one's interesting. Again, not my favorite. This is Birthday Bourbon, which is Old Forester. I've got a bottle of it behind my head here on the shelf. These are all right. Not a huge fan of these. I think the Bourbon Hunter one is really clever. I've got to do some work on the colors. Like I think those colors work there, but the other colors don't work so much. This is the BTAC series, Buffalo Trace Antique Collection, which is really hard to find, highly sought after bottles. All right, so Rory's not getting in. All right, let me try to get him in, and I'll continue going down this. I may have messed something up when I sent it to him, so I'm resetting this up, Rory, and I'm sending you a fresh link. So try that one and let me know if that lets you in. So I like this series. You know, she got a little more creative here. The bottles with the colors behind it, and you'll see several. Like these CYPBs are okay. This is going to be the single barrel select shirts where we'll do a personalization in the middle. I do have Rory on here, so give me just 1 second, Rory, to finish up, and I'm just running through these. So we're doing just single barrel selects on those. The Elijah Craig 18 shirt, that first one's good. This is kind of that BTAC series where we did the bottle with some sort of background. I probably like those the most. This horse collector shirt is probably one of my favorites. I think this will probably be our biggest seller. If I had to guess right now, this or the small batch shirt will be our biggest seller. With small batch being that's another of the BTAC stuff. That single barrel shirt on that gray is really, really good. Not this small batch. This small batch shirt right here, I think, will be extremely popular. Okay, so Rory's over there. All right, let me see here, Rory. All right, Rory, everybody should be able to hear you, and I am trying to. You are not getting any information back. Is that right? Okay. How about there? Can you see me now?
Hey, I see you.
All right. Sorry about that. I changed some settings for my screen share, and so let's see if I can. All right, now we're rocking and rolling.
No.
We're cooking with gas
Big
now.
face.
That's what you get for being so close to the camera. It's hard to change that.
On my screen, I don't have the fancy setup you do. I just have a camera on top of my screen.
I understand. Well, we're live. We've had a bunch of folks come and go. Obviously, this is a long stream, so I didn't expect everybody to hang around. Let me catch up with the chat real quick. Ben Denny in the chat says, "What headphones am I using?" These right here are my old Sony WHX whatever 2s. Normally, I'll rock the 4s for my live streams, but I want these headphones are for the MacBook I'm using here. These headphones go to that one. I have these Sennheisers if I want to get crazy. Like I try not to have anything battery powered on the stream just because that's bitten me a couple of times. So I'll oftentimes grab these because they're more analog plugged in there. But Bourbon Hunter is Ben's favorite. I think it could be really good. So it's definitely one that's going to be there for launch. And then we're going to start the personalized one. We're going to roll out a little later and things like that. So to catch you up to speed here, Rory, on how it's been going. It's been going very slowly. Apparently, I'm extremely inefficient at putting products into the site and using things like Adobe Illustrator. But it's moving. We have 2 shirts in there now, I believe. Let me look. I got to go to all products. The Knob Creek shirt is in. I haven't added anything to categories. Dadgummit. So hold on. I'm gonna go back to products here. All right, so we've got 3 shirts in there, but one of them I'm gonna redo because it was just my test product. And so we've got to figure out product names, product descriptions, and product pricing. Like those are important things to have right before you start trying to sell shirts. Because if I sell them for the $8.90 they're showing up on the site right now, I won't make any money.
Great.
So what are
Well,
your thoughts
I mean,
on how we should price these things?
that's a more complex question than simply like what number do we think it would be. We've got sort of to think about a couple things there. One is how much is our customer willing to pay for the shirt? Two is how much can we offer the shirt to make enough of a profit margin for it to make sense for us to sell the shirt. So you sort of have those two competing factors to figure out when we're looking at what price is going to be in that mix.
Okay, so how do we get there? Like that's I went and I've done some test orders, right? And so a lot of the shirts that we've bought, I've bought some orders from some other shirts and things, some whiskey shirts, some not. But these are very similar shirts. Now I do believe these to be screen printed, but I'm not sure. But just based on the vibrancy of the color and the feel, I think these are screen printed. Whereas ours are direct to garment, so that may be a difference in perceived value or price. I don't know, but these were $30 a shirt for the same, basically the same material that we're shipping out. So that's just a reference point, right? Like that's all that really is. But you see shirts basically range from $20 to $30 for the most part in the market we're in.
So my instinct there is to say, at least on price, have we taken a look at what our not direct competition will be doing, but what other shirt companies are doing as far as with the product who are in the same sector? So have we looked at sort of alcohol themed apparel and what that price looks like specifically? Because I think that we'd probably be talking to a similar audience there.
We would, but I have not. Let's do that right now. Why not? What are we looking for? Apparel, like an alcohol. I mean, if we're not looking at shirts, and I think beer is going to be a good bit different audience than bourbon.
Bourbon.
Beer, yeah. So I'm looking at. All right, so I'm looking at carbon to cobalt here. Let me pull this up. I'm gonna move to screen share here. All right, so they give me a nice little pop up here, but they're doing mixology teas, which is something we had actually considered doing. So this is kind of interesting. But they're like, is that per shirt or am I getting all three of them? Because that seems like a ludicrous price for one. I mean, I'm not choosing a type, so I'm assuming I'm getting 3 shirts in this. But they don't say. Can you hear me? I think you got muted on this. Hold on. Yeah, sorry. I don't have it set up for live streaming and like screen sharing and that. So I can hear you now. Sorry.
Okay. No, as I say, that's a lot for one T-shirt. So that should be 3. Does it say it in the description?
It does not, but they're obviously in the photo. It says made of seriously soft comb cotton, blah, 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 blah. Vintage inspired illustrations. But it doesn't say at all if it imported in black, navy, or red.
Because it looks like you get 1 quantity in below. So is that 1 quantity of 3 or 1 quantity of 1 for?
I think if you choose black, you get the Manhattan. If you choose navy, you get the gin and tonic, and if you choose rust, you get the old fashioned.
So that's the price for the whole kit and caboodle.
That is the price for 1 shirt.
Okay.
Lord, we may be underselling ourselves here if this is what these crazy people are doing. Do they have anything?
Is it a material question or is it just that's what they've?
Good question. It says these are, an old favorite feel. Let's see, 100% cotton. Like that's all they really say. All right, it looks like they put their own labels in it, or like a printed label on the back there. So I don't know what would cause this shirt to be $48 for a t-shirt.
Yeah, that's a. I mean, I'm not shopping at Nordstrom. I'm shopping on a website. Um,
So like this one, headline shirts, craft
right.
beer, $28. Special order item. Like it might take 3 to 8 days to ship. Item may ship separate. So they're drop shipping this shirt.
Yeah, if I do a quick Google search of bourbon t-shirts, I get one that's like whiskey neat, funny and ironic, $25. Beast of Bourbon, $30 from the Chivery. So it looks like when you get into the more established, like the Tommy Bahama brands, you're looking at $49.
Right.
But if you're looking at the newer brands, we're probably looking closer to that $25 mark.
Yeah, I think that's, we are going with a premium shirt. It is going to
Mhm.
cost us some money to get people here. So I'm wondering if, and one of the things I really want to do is I want to build bundles, try to, get people to buy more than one shirt.
Mhm.
So I think maybe that $28 price point, like how
Yep.
strategically, how I'm wondering psychologically how $28 is going to play versus $29.99.
So I just written that down. It's $29.99 versus $28.99. Which one's going to
Yeah.
drive people more? Um, and my instinct there is that we can test it. Um,
Yeah, and maybe that's that's exactly what we do is just pick a price based on what it seems like other people are doing, and then see how it works. Like we can always put them on
mhm.
sale. We can try different things. We could do $29.99, but then if maybe buy 3 shirts for $60 or something like that,
Right.
right? To get them to increase our margins. But then if they commit to a higher number of shirts, they're going to get them for $20 a piece or something.
Right. Yeah, and that changes like our the price of the shirt really defines what our CAC needs to be, sort of what that customer acquisition cost is going to need to be,
Right.
because it's going to tell us sort of what is our margin, right? So like, how much does it cost us to print the shirt? How much does it cost us with fulfillment? With this, it doesn't really cost us anything extra because it's through Guten, that's wrapped up in everything. Um, so really,
Yeah.
cost to fulfill the order and cost to acquire the customer are going to be the really post development of design are going to be the big things we've got to worry about.
Well, the
So we
next the
need to
next
make
question on
sure
this. Go ahead. Sorry.
we just need to make sure that wherever that price is, it's flexible enough that we can run discounts without having a negative impact on the bottom line. So I don't want to
Yeah,
run so close that any discount would cause us to lose money. I've seen that happen.
I agree. And most of these sites that I've looked at are actually charging for shipping. So they've got high shirt costs, and then they're charging for shipping. So I think we might be able to leverage that to our advantage. Like I would rather charge $29.99 for a shirt with free shipping than charge
Mhm.
$25 for a shirt and charge $5 for shipping.
I'm
Um,
all about that life. Believe me, I
yeah.
was literally just shopping and said no thank you when I saw both the sales tax and the shipping together. It just wasn't about to happen. But I live in Washington where our sales tax is 10.1%. So,
Yeah. So I think we want to make sure our price has shipping built into it, and I think that's where we can really discount bundling where, and we need to do some tests with that with Guten to where if we
mhm.
order more than one shirt, does shipping double? Are they all shipping from the same location? Like, does our shipping cost go down, or is it built in per product? Like, I need to just do some tests there to make sure, or ask them, and they're on the stream. At least they were a little while ago. Shelby was. So we need to nail that down and just figure that out, because we might be able to go from $30 a shirt with shipping included to $25 a shirt if you buy two, and not lose any margin, right?
Right.
Just because there's only one shipping cost. So we need to think that through.
Yeah.
Do
we have an upper bound if we're looking at shipping and having free shipping? That's free domestic shipping, correct? We aren't going to try and take the burden of any international shipping.
Yeah, I think I chose international when I created these products, but I think that was just the default. I need to turn it off. So yeah, my thinking is, if we offer free shipping, it is only going to be in the US. And honestly, we may just turn off shipping. We may not go international at all with any of this.
Yep.
We may just turn that down, so we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah,
I'm
that way
trying
we
to
don't have to deal
see
with
if
customs and import stuff.
I think they tell us what the shipping is. I think shipping varies per product. So I'm trying to find what the. All right, so we've got an opportunity for fixed shipping. All right, I need to go to the product hub. I was in BigCommerce. So I'm trying to figure out what the shipping is on this product real quick. But it takes a second.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so it is loaded up. Designs, advanced, neck label. I don't see anything about. All right, so I'm going to go to their product hub, and see if I can find it that way on. All right, let me switch to screen share so I can kind of share this here. I'll do it without my ugly mug on there. All right, so I'm going to product catalog. I'm trying to find what the shipping costs are on these. So we've got worldwide. We could turn that off, turn it on. We're doing Gildan 6400. Center front. Is product info tell us anything? Yeah, so cheapest standard $3.99. So it appears as though it's going to cost us $4 to ship this product. But what I don't know is if it's going to cost us. So we've got standard, expedited, and overnight we could do. But I don't know if that shipping, if somebody orders 2 shirts, if that is per product. Hey, dadgummit, I muted you again. Every time I swap, it mutes you. Sorry about that.
It's okay. No, that makes sense. So I guess what's the price variable that we're looking at? Because it's looking a little bit blurry on my screen. What's the price variable that we're looking at? Is there a price variable by size or color or something
there
that we're looking at?
There is a price variable. I'm just going to choose these. I don't think there's a big one by color. Really, the biggest variable is the printable area here.
Right.
So if I continue in here to the product hub, so 2X costs us another $2. 3X costs us $4 more. 4X is going to cost us $6 more. So obviously we're going to have to upcharge for those sizes, right? That factors into it as well, because a 4X shirt costs us $15 plus $5 to ship. So obviously that size is going to have to cost more money.
Yep.
All right, so let's, we need to think about that. Go ahead.
When I look at sort of what the margin is there, I think pricing between 28 and 32, or I guess 28 and 35 is going to be where we want to be, so that we can discount without losing our own shirts doing it.
Makes sense. So start at, when you say 28, are we starting at like $27.99 and then moving up to, we're just gonna
to $34.99.
To $34.99. Okay. Well, let's edit this shirt and set those prices up on the ones that we've created thus far. All right, so I'm going to go back to my screen share. Then I'm going to immediately come over here and unmute Rory. I keep wondering, like, why does Rory go quiet when I go to this view?
I know, because I'm so known for being quiet. Um,
All right, so we've got our pricing here. Default price is going to be $27.99. All right, so then I think we need to go to our variations to set price. Okay. All right, I'm gonna need to do this when I import the product, so I don't have to go through and edit them all individually because this sucks.
that
All right,
looks
so
like it.
then that went up $2, so we're gonna go 29, and then this one went up $4, and then this one went up $6. That's 33.99. Wonderful. Math. I didn't know there'd be math today.
Yeah, that's
All
a
right, if
thing.
anybody's
I remember
watching,
when I was in school, they always told me that I'd have to know math, and I didn't understand why. Then I went and got a degree in economics.
yeah, well, they also told you wouldn't be able to carry around a calculator with you all the time,
Right? This is my
and
favorite thing.
that's a lie. So for those that are watching in the chat, let us know. Do you think $27.99 for a shirt, $34.99 if you're into really big sizes is too much? Like, is that too high? Do you think we're pricing ourselves out of the market? It seems to be where everybody else is. So we'll see. And then there's like 800 variants in here. And if I miss one, then that's the shirt people are going to buy in bulk.
Right?
I'm trying to remember who was it. I was talking to a merchant one time that did that. They had a product that was mispriced and they didn't notice. And so it like they just got hammered because folks just jumped in there and they were just shipping them out left and right, but they were shipping them out at their wholesale cost.
Oh
Um,
no.
and they had sold a bunch of them before they realized it. And I think the people who were buying it were immediately taking it and then putting it online for what the retail price of it was. So
Hey, look,
basically, yeah,
find a way to make that money. I'm not going to fault you.
they were hustling it. It was funny.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember what that scenario was though. It's been many years ago, but um, it was a funny situation. And they didn't. I mean, they cared obviously, but they didn't lose a ton because they weren't
Oh
selling
no.
it they weren't selling it at a loss. They just weren't selling it at the right price either.
No, you hear those nightmares of brands that accidentally, instead of limiting like the category of product, they limit like a single product, they limit to a category of product. So say you're selling lipstick, and instead of limiting it to two lipsticks per shade, they limit it to two lipsticks at all ever. Um, and so you sort of see those prices go. And I hear those stories a lot more so than that one. That was interesting.
All right, so I've got the shirt set up. It's got pricing in there. What about let's talk about descriptions then. Obviously, I got to go through and do the other product, but now that I've got my pricing, when I go through and do the rest of them, I mean, obviously, we want to be fun and maybe a little. I think this brand could be very playful, very fun, very
Mm-hmm.
sarcastic. Very sassy, for lack of a better term, online. How do we go about developing that? Like, is that
I
something we
mean,
want to find somebody to do? Do we want to try to write all these descriptions? Um,
well, when your mascot is a cooked chicken, I got the need for humor. But I think we've got that base description for the product that we sort of have that has that it has that brand language in it, right?
Right.
So we can start with that because it does a good job of describing sort of what the t-shirts are, because we're using the same, to make it easy, we're using the same sort of model t-shirt. Is it a model? The same t-shirt sort of as a blank tee across the board. So that description can stay the same, like the product specifics. I think we get a paragraph on top of each, or a couple sentences on top of each, that speak directly to A, the audience, and B, sort of the humor and the personality behind the brand, right?
Yep.
So when you start looking at, let me see which ones we have up here. When you start looking at sort of the beer shirt, right? What is that? Who's going to buy the beer shirt, right? Like, nobody I know is coming to mind, but I'm also in my early 30s, and like that's
Yeah, I don't know if the beer shirts are going to be extremely big sellers. I think they could be, but I
mm-hmm,
think the beer shirts might be big sellers for add-ons. Obviously,
mm-hmm,
the beer market is a little harder to market to, and most beer enthusiasts, unless they buy a shirt like that, kind of semi-sarcastically, are going to be into a shirt with their favorite brand on it or something like that. And
right.
so, I think the bourbon shirts we're going to we're going to speak to that audience and we're going to be able to draw those people in. But
Right.
the beer stuff, I think, might just be kind of an upsell for that audience.
Good call.
Yeah.
So Knob Creek, and I'm gonna out myself here as knowing next to nothing about bourbon as somebody who works for TJ. So I guess that's not good. Uh, but is there anything in that community that that we can speak to? Like, is there, what is it about Knob Creek that makes it something people, other than it being apparently a good bourbon, what is it that's unique about that product or that brand that's driving people to buy it over others?
Yeah, I mean the Knob Creek, especially this one, KC12 is Knob Creek 12-year-old, which I've got a bottle of up there. So it's fairly readily available, right? Like it's not super hard to find. It's not everywhere, but it is a really really good 12-year-old bourbon that doesn't receive a lot of hype. When you do find it, you can find it at retail price. So for a 12-year-old bourbon, it's readily available, it's fairly affordable, and it's freaking delicious. So it's just that's pretty much it's one of those
It's the
really nice
soccer, yeah.
bourbons that everybody can get access to.
So
So
it's the everyman's.
yeah. So it's
Hmm.
it doesn't have the hype, but a lot of people love it. Like it's a lot of folks' favorite bourbon. Um,
It's the school's favorite janitor. Trying to think. How do we?
where's the default product description at? I was trying to locate that.
Let me pull
I
that.
remember.
It was on
Yeah.
a Google Drive.
So I've gotten two. I've been live streaming for 2 hours. I've gotten two products added. This
Hey,
is this is not gonna take forever.
this is real life. Let me
Now a lot of it
see.
has been yapping. A lot of it has been yapping. I will admit it's not that it normally takes that long. I'm sure for somebody that is very skilled in these things.
Yeah.
Um, but we are trying to figure it out. I think once we have a process that kind of works, it'll move a lot faster. Once I have a process where I pay somebody else to do it, it'll move a lot faster.
Yeah. Here we go. So, is showcase your love of bourbon while enjoying this exceptionally soft T-shirt designed by bourbon aficionado and e-commerce expert TJ Gamble. Our T-shirts are, and then the bullet points. So,
All right.
shoot it over to. Let me shoot this doc back over to you in Slack.
I get to stroke my own ego. Nice. Designed by
Listen,
Bourbon Aficionado.
When you're the name bringing people to the table up front, we're going to use it as much as we need to.
If it works, I'm all for it. Whatever will make some sales. All right, so this is gonna be kind of the, now did we take, okay. So I need to adjust the materials to the shirt though,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like this is kind of the default, but it obviously needs to be
Yeah, I think
tweaked
that
to
was
whatever's on the label.
Yeah, I think we were going to reach out to Guten and ask what that blend looked like if it was different, because there's a weird, like, it could be this, or it could be this, or it could be this, or it could be this,
Right.
right?
Yeah, it depends on the color of the shirt.
Mm-hmm.
So we may just have to do like some of the ones that I've seen where
It says
we
gray
just say
is
that.
this, this is
Gray
that.
is this, this is that. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
all right. So I'm going to switch back over to my screen share here, and then you're not going to be on screen for this, but I'm going to unmute your audio. And then we're going to try to get a description going here. I don't want to do the beer shirt to start with. What we're going to go with is the barrel proof t-shirt. So I went with barrel proof bourbon t-shirt. Any problem with that title or name?
No, that
That's what it is,
literally
right?
hits it. And it's what people will be searching for if they're looking for something like that. So.
Yeah. All right, so I'm just going to kind of scoot what's here down so we have it, and then I'm going to paste in our kind of default description. All right, so what we want to do is kind of write a forward for this default description, and then I'm going to work on what the material list is below. Afterwards, we'll pull that information up. So here, this is barrel proof. What's cool about barrel proof? When you buy a bottle of whiskey, bourbon has a few things about it, right? Like bourbon has to be aged in new oak barrels. There's different types of bourbon. There's bottled in bond, which has to be distilled and bottled by the same distiller in the same growing season. It has to be bottled at exactly 100 proof. Like there's a bunch of like nuance to bourbon. One thing that's really popular these days is barrel strength bourbon, and that's our barrel proof. So barrel strength, cask strength, barrel proof, all the same. And we'll probably do shirts for all of those variations. We'll probably do a cask strength shirt or something like that. But barrel proof basically means that what is in this bottle is exactly the full strength, non-watered down stuff that came out of the barrel. And the reason a lot of people like that, it's got, first of all, it's got a huge alcohol content, high content. Some of these over here are, I'm trying to think of some of the highest proof ones I have over here, but they're easily, 120, sometimes 100, 130 proof, which means they're going to be like this one right here is 107 proof. That's not barrel strength. But people like them because they're full flavored. Like you get all the complexity of the bourbon. You also get all of the alcohol, which can overwhelm you, but people like them because of that. And so we want to write a description that kind of speaks to that love of barrel proof.
So barrel proof bourbon's a lot like life. Got it. Trying to think. So it's full strength in every aspect.
All right. So this is what I wrote. Let folks know that you like them hot. If you're into full strength bourbon and prefer not to water it down, show that with this barrel proof t-shirt. Like I don't like the word show that.
Your blah blah blah. Yeah. Well, that's what I was saying. Instead of show that, can you read that last sentence back to me again?
Let folks know that you like them hot. If you're into full strength bourbon and prefer to not water it down, show that with this barrel proof t-shirt.
Show off your love of full strength bourbon da 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 with this t-shirt. I don't like to show that.
Yeah. So let folks know that you like them hot. If you're into full strength bourbon and prefer not to water it down, show your. See, I'm saying. All right. So hold on. If you. All right. I'm going to get rid of that first
How
full
about
strength bourbon. I'm
share
going to move
your
that to the
love
end.
of? What about share your love of uh, full strength bourbon? It's not watered down in the world with this shirt. Something along that lines.
All right. So this is what I've cut it to. Let folks know that you like them hot. If you prefer to not water it down, share your love of full strength bourbon with this barrel proof t-shirt.
That's awesome. That
Yeah.
makes it better.
All right. All right. So we need to then get the materials for these shirts. Now, I think these are Gildan 6400, so I know on some of them, Lord, all right, so like this one right here is 90% cotton, 10% polyester. I'm getting too old to read tags that small. That's a Bella canvas. We're not selling that one. We're going to do some ladies cuts at some point, but not right off the bat. That one's not one we're selling. This is the, I think this is the white soft style. Yeah, Gildan. So the white one is 100% cotton. This one's 90% cotton. And then I think like this is not one we're selling right now. And I think that no, that's a Fruit of the Loom. So I've got to get materials on the other colors.
Okay.
But I'll get that. I'll get that. So, and then do we really need the care label stuff? Like, do we really want to say machine wash on whatever and all of that stuff?
I like to have that there for no other reason than when I'm looking at products, I want to know, can I wash this myself or can I dry clean it? Or do I have to dry clean it? Can
Okay.
I, like, what does the care actually matter? And as somebody who's had plenty of cashmere objects destroyed in my washer by my partner, I think it helps to have those instructions readily available.
Yeah, but if you've got to dry clean a t-shirt, we're in the wrong world here. Like realistically, if it's all t-shirts, like I would assume the implication would be that you could machine wash these. If you can't machine wash them, now if
I
it's
mean,
pre-shrunk or something like that, like definitely. But if it's just
the
you could machine, go ahead.
the implication of a blow dryer also is not that somebody's going to do it while taking a bath. We can't really account for what's
All right.
apparent and what's not for everybody there.
I don't even know if this actually contains the care on the label itself. Um, like I don't even see, because some of this I can't read, but this is all like imported stuff, so maybe it's in there. But they don't make these tags really easy to see. That is for sure. So I'll figure it out. I'll get a magnifying glass or something and try to figure out what those things actually say. So other than that, are we okay with this description? Let's save it. Let's look at it on the front end of the site. We are working on this barrel proof shirt. So the description is going
That
to
looks
look like
nice.
this on desktop. The little arrows are cool. Didn't realize. All right. So we need to, obviously I need to get rid of this. Is there anything from this we want to include? Amazing soft style t-shirt that is a staple in every wardrobe. Do we care about a rolled forward shoulder, double sleeve needle and bottom hems, as well as a seamless double needle collar?
I think they're saying semless, so let's get rid of that.
Seamless. Okay. Yeah.
So they
All
lack
right.
search
So
engine marketing. Get it.
yeah, I mean they're giving you product details, but I don't think that's where was I at? Okay, this is where I'm at. So I'm just gonna drop that. Yeah. Okay, so that's our description. We've got some related products, which I need to get rid of that popular trending products. But that's Now I still have that I have a problem here I've got to work on where some of these sizes are not available, but you can still buy them.
Oh dear.
Um, yeah, that's an issue. I gotta do some investigation, but that's probably a little too complicated for me to do on a live stream here because we may have to do some
Yeah.
intrusive surgery there. Um, and again, I'm not sure if it's how Guten shoots those products over. I'm not sure if it's a theme problem or if it's a
Hmm.
big commerce issue. Like I don't. It could be any of those at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the fun,
Um.
isn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, this is gonna be easy. Building $1 million drop shipping site is easy. No problem. I could do it in a weekend. No problem. Here I am, 2 hours in. I got two products. Take me an hour. I spend as much time entering this product into BigCommerce as the graphic designer spent designing the thing that the shirt, which I
Right.
never thought would be a problem, right? Um, I mean, I thought I'd import these and like I'd be putting like three or four an hour in here. I'd be
Hmm.
done with this. Well, we'd stream for like 3 or 4 hours and I'd be finished. Not the case. Not the case. All right. So what else do we want to accomplish here? Obviously, I've got a lot of products to add. I may not do all of this on a live stream. I've added one or two so people can kind of see how it's going to be. To launch this site, I'm going to try to get at least 20 products in here, which hopefully will speed up after I get off the stream and it won't be one an hour. And so I'm going to try to get 20 products in here by this weekend. I've got to set up payments and shipping, which we're gonna have free shipping, so I don't even have to worry about shipping. I've got to set up tax, um, and then I think that's it. Like I
So
think that's it. I think we go live.
on a site, yeah, but then we got to figure out what we're doing to drive people to the site, right?
Wait, hold
So
on. This is not Field of Dreams.
no,
This is
we've got
I don't just set it live and people start buying from it.
no. There's a reason I
Oh
look so
God.
tired. No, I think that so looking at where our pricing sits, that gives us $9.99 of a margin on these
Okay.
shirts. So if our goal is to sell, so I guess that's not clear. Is our goal to sell $1 million in product, or is our goal to make $1 million in profit on the product we sold?
Shoot. I think you've got to cross one threshold before the other. So let's take the easier one to get to, and that's $1 million in sales. Like
Okay,
that was the initial goal, is just to get a site that does $1 million in sales. And it's because we want to be able to experiment and show, what those experiments, what those conversion rate optimization and things like that do, what some of our partner things do. And we need a site about that scale to be able to do all of those things. So the goal is not to drive as much profit as possible, but obviously long term, we want to have an eye towards profitability on this. But the important factor is that we're not losing money and we're getting to that scale, even if it's
right.
at a thin margin right now.
So I'm just doing a little bit of math. Um, so our shirts are averaging out at about $31.99. It's going to be the average cost when you put the sizes together.
Yeah.
So we're going to run off of that as our base for the million. So that means that we need to sell 31,260 shirts in order to hit about
Yeah.
$1 million in sales volume. That's about 31,000.
Okay.
And we have a list size right now of
Zero.
0. So we need to
Yeah.
go from 0 to 32. And if we can consider, and I want to make sure I'm getting the number right here. Uh, so if we look at, on average, about 2.17% of site visits are converted to purchase, that means that we need Okay. 31, 265, 2. So we need
Math,
to
right?
pull a minimum of 156,300 people to get to the site, or
Okay.
to buy on another channel. So that's the number of impressions that we're targeting to hit sort of what that industry standard um, conversion rate looks like. And obviously we're going to hope to beat that industry standard conversion rate, but just as a benchmark to look at, I think that's
Yeah, and I
generally a
think
good thing to
also
see.
we can up our average order value by bundling too. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that 30, I don't expect that 31 as an average order value is going to hold up. I think
Right,
we'll be able to bump that to, significantly reduce that number. And the great thing
right.
is I did not set a deadline necessarily on how long we have to get to those numbers. So I know it's going to be a slow burn, but we are also having a lot of success on TikTok right now with this content. So that may help expedite, getting folks into
Right.
that funnel, and if we can branch out onto other socials and have similar, um, similar traction, then even better, because those are going to be much more profitable customers, right? They're already going to be
Right.
warmed up, and they're going to be, I don't want to call it free because content's not free to do, but at least not a paid click per se.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to, I mean, this is something that we're going to have to think about, right? Because I'm looking at like average CAC in retail is about $10. And we have to stay well below that to sort of have a profit there. So we're probably going to have, as we optimize for that CAC, we're obviously going to start at a higher CAC and sort of trend lower. But I think the question is there, what our target CAC needs to be, because I'm not even in a place right now where I can say this is what our opening CAC should probably look like. But our target CAC, I want to stay closer to the $5 and under mark, which means that we're getting about $4.99 to $5, $4.99 to $5.99 in margin on the shirts.
Yeah. And obviously if we can't make it work at that $5 cost, customer acquisition cost, then we're going to have to rethink the free shipping.
Yep. Yeah, that definitely, because I think if we're struggling to get it to that CAC, then the question is that free shipping enough of an incentive to get people to buy, or do we need to find some other way to incentivize it? Do we need to discount the shirt by the amount the shipping would be? Do something there that sort of makes the shipping, does the same price difference, but makes people just generally feel better about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Ania, did I get Ania Russo in the chat? Hello, welcome. Glad you're joining us from Italy. Just to kind of fill you in, or anybody who's joined, we've had a few folks join, come and go. This is kind of a long stream. It's a little unusual. We are working on building a print-on-demand dropshipping site, and so I've got the theme chosen. We're working through a lot of the issues with products today. We're talking about pricing of products, descriptions of products. We're kind of moving on now a little bit to talk about how we're going to try to go out and actually get customers once this thing is live, because I'm hoping to launch the site next week. I'm probably going to do a live stream launch party to where we just kind of push the boat out and hope somebody orders while we're on the live stream so we can celebrate. Regardless, I'm probably getting a cake and a hat and some party streamers, and we're gonna celebrate this thing going out. But we've got a lot of this type of work to do, so it's gonna be a little bit of a boring stream. I apologize for that. I understand that this may not be the most riveting, entertaining thing, but honestly, this is the type of stuff you've got to do if you want to build one of these sites. So if you're into that kind of stuff, stick around, chat, let me know. I'll, if you have any questions, you want to talk about e-commerce, I'm happy to answer anything. Just post it in the chat. So let's back to that cost. What I'm thinking we may end up doing, Rory, is we may set a minimum order value threshold for free shipping that coincides with having 2 shirts in your cart. And so that first shirt you get shipping on, but if you buy a second shirt, you don't. And that way, because we've got the margin, right? Like we've got the margin in the second shirt, but the thing I've got to nail down for sure is that shipping charge that we're getting from Guten, our print-on-demand supplier, is that per shirt, or does that change when the equation changes of how many shirts are in that order?
Right.
Yeah. Because if it's one charge, like if it's only like $4 or $5 for 2 shirts and 1 shirt, then just kind of, hey, you order 2, now you get free shipping. That really gives us a lot more margin. Like $5 that may be the difference in actually being profitable and not being profitable on this to start with.
Right. No, entirely. I don't disagree.
Okay.
I have to figure
so I
out
need to
where
nail
this
that
bounding
down.
box is. Okay. I keep drifting in and out of this box on my screen. I'm not used to them anymore.
Yeah, so I need to nail down our shipping costs, because I'm not real sure if that's per product or if we get a discount for multiple products. So all right, looks like we've got several folks joining here. Again, we're just talking about building a print-on-demand site. We're not just talking about, we're actually building it. So we've been going through and adding products into our Guten and BigCommerce print-on-demand site. And right now we are trying to figure out how to price these suckers and how to market them. Obviously we're having a lot of success with TikTok. So we need to figure out how to run TikTok ads. I don't think any of our clients have ever run TikTok ads that I'm aware of. But there's a lot of bourbon, there's a lot of bourbon enthusiasts, right? We're already up to 4,700 followers on TikTok with this Bruzel content. There's a vibrant bourbon community over there. So we're going to try to leverage that organic reach, but ads might, ads obviously are going to be a little more consistent there. What about, what are you thinking outside of that? Are you thinking like YouTube? I want to create content, but I don't think running ads on YouTube to drive people is the right thing. We might do some influencer marketing there, but your thoughts?
Cost for YouTube ads and really GDN ads are going to be not really worth it to start. I think to get the level of targeting that we want to get and to sort of hit the folks that we want to hit, better to look at social networks. So Instagram, Facebook. I don't necessarily know about Twitter. Their ad platform is but I would have to take a look at the size of sort of that bourbon audience on Twitter to sort of make a judgment call there. But I think focus to begin with is going to be Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
Yeah, bourbon Twitter's a thing, I know for sure, but I'm not sure how big it is. So I don't know if that's going to be a huge focus. But definitely Instagram, Facebook. So Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, anywhere else. I mean, do we want to, I just don't see, outside of like gift season, I don't see search ads as something that are going to be, obviously we want to be on Google Shopping. No. We want to be feeding out to Google Shopping, but I don't think that's a huge thing.
Yeah, I mean, we want to be feeding out to any of the networks that we can. So Google Shopping, we'll probably want to look at getting some form of a Walmart Marketplace presence just in there so that our products are where products are looking. I mean, I think Google's Marketplace, not Google, Walmart's Marketplace now has more traffic than Amazon. So it's just something to think about.
Yeah, Walmart Marketplace, we'll talk about maybe an Amazon strategy. I think these shirts could also do fairly well on Etsy potentially, but I don't know Etsy's terms around print on demand. I haven't done anything, any real research there. But we need to, obviously we want to try to get as many views from as many different places as possible. Daily Momentum says
Looks like
Instagram. I agree.
Etsy does not have an issue with print on demand. A large
Okay,
number of the providers out there have direct integrations with Etsy. So
good. Okay. So we definitely want to, we definitely want to, from a content perspective, we want to try to get as much organic traffic as possible. I believe every single brand should be creating content. And so, from a content perspective, I think the platforms that we focus on, obviously, we're doing TikTok already. We're going to roll into YouTube because I think there's a ton of bourbon. That bourbon YouTube is a really big thing. Um, there is some opportunity on Facebook there there's a lot of bourbon buy sell groups, but they're looking to buy bourbon, and I'm not sure. Like, we might be able to leverage that for ads. We might be able to
mhm.
works for sponsored posts in some of those groups. I'm not sure how that'll work. Those people are very, very particular, right? Like they get really agitated in those groups about the group rules and the smallest of mishaps in there. So I'm not sure the opportunity, and I struggle with content on Facebook in general, like just getting traction that's not paid. I think we absolutely need to be doing some Instagram stuff. We can obviously repurpose a lot of our TikTok over there as well on the real stuff. Um, any other platforms outside of that you think we need to be focused on creating content for?
I mean, aside from the channels that we're looking at, there haven't been a lot of places where I've seen this stuff drive sales. So I think that covers pretty much everything. I think um, one of the things I'm thinking about is not necessarily using YouTube as an advertising channel, but using it as a content channel.
Yeah.
So sort of twofold. One is you've been doing a lot of those. You did a lot of those bourbon reviews on TikTok. We might be able to pull together some compilations of those. We might be able to pull together sort of a longer form version of that. We could start doing like a weekly bourbon and talk kind of thing where you talk about
Yeah.
e-commerce and just drink and chat, and we can sort of start building that into the content as we grow. And one of the things I know we talked about briefly was like on TikTok, when you're pouring the bourbon in, staging the shirts behind it so that those shirts are visible in the shot with the bourbon that you're using. And we have some specific shirts that are branded to that are specific brand sort of, they evoke the design of specific
Right.
brands to sort of drive uh, that awareness. So I think that we can pair those bottles with those shirts and just sort of show that part of it is right. Like, we're not politics. We use the term carpetbaggers. We're not carpetbaggers. We're not just running into the bourbon area to say, I want a bunch of money. I don't really care about the product. Give me your money and have fun. So I think that in that sense, dealing with those Facebook groups is going to be a lot less acrimonious, because what people don't generally like is when somebody who has no connection to a community just shows up and says, I'm going to sell you stuff for this community. You know nothing about our community. Why do we care? So I think that when you're that's the joy and the beauty of a niche product, especially if you're in that niche yourself, is that it sort of gives you that built-in audience to speak to. I'm wondering, from content channels, if there's a specific, because I know you love to buy your bourbon at the way that you get your bourbon is a specific way. It's like a raffle or an auction or something.
Well, no, I mean, there are several ways to get bourbon. One being the state, being in a state controlled state where the state controls all the alcohol. There is a lottery system they do at the end of the year. They also do monthly bourbon drops where they'll have bourbon at the store and you got to stand in line and get it that way. And then, in non-controlled states like Georgia, I can go across the line there and you just build relationships with the store owners.
Okay.
That's how you get the
Is
good stuff
there
anyway.
I know with like sneakers and t-shirts and other stuff like that, you'd sell secondhand. So I'm thinking like the StockX kind of stuff. You're like even thinking about something that's really hard to find right now, like PlayStation 5, right? A lot of the time when people are going to find the drop or going to get it, or they're interested in stuff, there's forums, there's other websites where people talk about it that sort of maybe we want to look and see if there are sort of urban clubs, there are
Oh, there definitely are.
urban forums, those things on the internet that we can then reach out to sort of their admin and reach out to those communities, because I think that would be a great way to get um, those folks don't usually get reached out to when people start talking about influencers. And in reality, there are a lot of the people who are going to be influencing those influencers as far as what they're talking about and how they're discussing certain things. They're who people are learning from. So
Absolutely. Okay. No, I'm with that. So we definitely want an influencer campaign. I can do that on a micro level on TikTok pretty easily. Like I already know
mhm,
a lot of the folks there, the ones that are regularly creating content, and so I think we
mhm,
can, for really for nothing. I mean, most of them. The great thing about TikTok, Bourbon TikTok, is they're really more like a small family. And so honestly, for most of
mhm,
those folks, we could get post out of them for sending shirts. And we wouldn't even have to
yeah.
pay them, even though we could. Like I'm more than happy to, but they'll do it just for me sending them a shirt, just because I asked.
I wonder if
Um,
instead of paying them, we send them a bottle of bourbon if we can. I
yes,
just feel like that would be a bit more on brand, and they can drink the bourbon and talk about it while they're wearing the t-shirt. That's all we ask.
I like it.
Uh,
I like it.
um,
Especially with some of these harder to find bottles because they don't have them, they can't find them. So if we could send them a bottle of Weller Antique 107 with the OWA shirt that matches
mhm,
it, I think they would be down for that. So that's an interesting
yeah.
strategy.
I think it gets people more like you give somebody something they like and they're going to talk about it and say, hey, just wear the shirt. Just makes it more natural.
Yep.
Trying to
All
think.
right. So now the thing is we need to start. Obviously, we've got to start setting some goals, some dates, some deadlines, some thoughts. Like I wanna do the YouTube channel, but I just don't have time right now. And eventually, what I'm gonna
Yeah.
do is we're not gonna take TikToks and recreate them as YouTube videos. What we're gonna do is create YouTube videos and then do a condensed,
Okay.
shortened version of that for TikTok. So the YouTube will be the hero content, the main catalyst of the content, and then we'll
Hmm.
have some TikToks to support that is what I'm thinking. But that's just a lot of work. We don't have, we've got obviously some initiatives at work that are eating a bunch of time. But I'll come back to that maybe in a couple of months, maybe after all this site build stuff's over, after some of the content we're working on at Jamerson is kind of settled down.
Hmm.
Really, once we have a producer in place to help with a lot of the logistics of all of this stuff. So that's kind of off the table for now. But we need to. So I think we're going to stick to TikTok. I think we could start rolling Instagram in, like actual content on Instagram, because that's extremely similar. We just need to mix in some static photos and some different things. Um,
Yeah, I
so
was
we
going to
can
say,
we can.
I think
Yeah, go ahead.
we can easily start moving some of the TikToks that you have already created, just port those over to Instagram Reels and sort of start to create that there. I think we can spend some time and look to see sort of um, what those bourbon accounts are on Instagram and really start to sort of engage with that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And I've started putting these TikToks on YouTube as YouTube Shorts. Started that over the
Hmm.
weekend, and I've gotten 4 subscribers and almost about 800 views on a couple of them. So that was kind of cool to see. But long term, that's not going to grow that channel just by dropping shorts. So we can continue doing that just to kind of keep the channel warm because we have the content. But I think that'll be a much more successful strategy on Instagram.
Here's a question: do you have a fireplace in your house, in your new one or your old one?
Yes, several.
Comfortable armchair.
I've actually funny thing. I know where you're going. Here's the problem, right? Is the house is a disaster right now, and there's people working on it all over the place, right? So it's once that's done, like I'm within the next couple of months, within the next 2 months, it'll be kind of settled. I'm not saying it'll be finished, but it'll be in a position where I can actually start having equipment over there and trying to film stuff where it's not in people's way. It's not getting a bunch of dust and being in danger from construction. But in the studio area, I do have a fireplace. I've actually tried to make a couple of offers on a nice, comfy leather chair on Facebook Marketplace, but we couldn't come to terms because I'm cheap and they wanted too much. But yeah, I'm definitely thinking of like a fireside chat, sit, kind of with a glass of bourbon, do some stuff, some content kind of things for sure.
Yeah, I think that speaks to both, because we can be funny in that space too, but it sort of speaks to a warm and welcoming but humorous brand as a whole.
Yep.
Plus, that's all I can think of when I think of bourbon because I'm in my 30s and that's all we can think of is.
Yeah, but smoking jacket and a cigar, and sit down and just kind of do that whole thing with a nice wingback chair. I'm also building a bar in the studio, so kind of like this. Like I'll have bourbon behind me and the lights, but it'll be a stand-up bar. So we'll be able to do, and I bought. I don't think I've showed this to you. I think I told you about it, but see if I can find it if it's still on my desk here. I bought a cocktail recipe book from right after Prohibition. So I got the oldest cocktail book I could. This is Burke's Complete Cocktail and Drinking Recipe. So they give a bunch of like hors d'oeuvres and cocktails and just a bunch of different stuff. And it's not super easy to find some of these ingredients, but I've been buying some of the ingredients for this because all I have is bourbon. Like I don't mix it. I just drink bourbon. I just pour it in a glass. I drink it. I don't usually put it on ice. It's just in a glass. I drink it. So I've had to accumulate all of the stuff to make any of these. And I've been doing tests, and every one I've made so far has been miserable. But that's part of it, right? Like their tastes were a lot different. But these hors d'oeuvres are just like some of these are just crazy. Like,
so why don't we turn those into YouTube videos?
No, that's exactly what we're going to do. YouTube videos and then condensed version for TikToks. But I'm trying to wait until the bar's built. And honestly, it may be, it's probably going to be September or later before that part of the house is done. So, but like 2 parts deviled ham, 1 part anchovy paste, 1 part butter, 4 parts mayonnaise. So they're basically telling me how to make like a deviled egg or something, but it's
depression drinks.
Yeah, a lot of anchovies, a tomato juice cocktail, which I don't know, man. It's ham and celery.
Is that like a less tasty Bloody Mary?
Yeah, kinda. Like it's just tomato juice and this one always gives me Worcester's. It's Worcestershire sauce is what it says. I don't care how you pronounce it. That's how it's spelled. That's how it's spelled.
So
I know.
Here's the thing.
They call it just Worcester around here, right? Like I've been to it's just Worcester.
How do you pronounce? Here's the one. And I have to ask this just because I grew up in Massachusetts. How do you pronounce Worcester?
Worcester.
Cester.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I can tell you how they do it around here, but they're not right. It's not right.
It's Worcester. If you're from Massachusetts, you were my grandmother. It's Worcester.
Yeah. But it's that tomato juice and lemon juice and salt. Like there's not even any alcohol in it. So it's just a Bloody Mary without the Mary, I guess.
Listen, I will always order a Bloody Mary mix when I'm on a plane. It's my, like, instead of tomato juice, I don't mind a virgin bloody, but that is not a virgin bloody. There's no spice in that.
Sandwiches and fillings. There's a crab meat filling, egg and pickle filling. Caviar, another word I can't pronounce. Like it's liverwurst and pickle.
You should definitely try that.
I'm gonna do them all. I'm gonna do literally every single recipe in this thing. Um, and some of, like I said, some of it's not hard to find. Like absinthe. Absinthe is not a thing they carry in most liquor stores because nobody drinks it around here apparently. So I had to go to like 3 liquor stores to find absinthe.
I just say I am in Seattle and I can walk down the street and get it like in any
Yeah.
store. So if we need it, I can do that.
They had one bottle. They had one bottle at the third or fourth liquor store I went to find it. So apparently it's not a big thing around here. Daily Momentum says we're headed in the right direction. TikTok and Instagram short videos. We're having a ton of success with more success with TikTok than I ever imagined. So it's making me rethink my whole e-commerce life. Be honest with you, it's freaking nuts how well that's going, how much fun it is, how easy the videos are. I did 5 videos last week. I filmed and edited every single one of them in an hour and a half on Sunday, and then just released them throughout the week. When I had uploaded them, scheduled them, went to sleep. Like that's pretty much it. So it was really, really easy, and it's really fun. Now I haven't posted one in 2 days. I needed to get one out today, but I'll film one this afternoon and drop it. But I've got to get back to e-commerce content, but that crap takes a lot more work.
Yeah.
Which is part of this. It is fun. It's fun because we're building something, right? Like the bourbon content. I mean, we are building something with that in it. We're trying to build a business, but the content is not documenting building something. The content's just talking about bourbon, which is one of the reasons it's easy. Like there's no real value to it. It's just like, hey, this crap tastes good. Do you think so too? And everybody's like, yes or no. With this, like we've actually got to go through all this work. I got to put in, 20 hours entering all these products into the site to then document it and show you the 20 hours. And I'm going to show it to you in like 2 minutes and say, I added a bunch of products. But we need to figure out how to market it and all of those things and then document that. So it just takes a lot more effort to generate these, for sure. Unless we we need to figure out a way. What I need to do is to figure out a way to where we don't have to put in all of this work. And we just talk about, hey, e-commerce is wonderful. Don't you think so? That's what most of honestly, most of the really successful drop shipping gurus just get on here and say, drop shipping's great. I had a drop shipping business. I made $1 billion. Here's the product I was selling. Here's the stuff I was using. And they just say that's that same video, and they just release it once a week with a slightly different spin on it.
Here's how you get rich online. It's that same thing. It
it's
doesn't
hustle,
necessarily
it's hustle porn more so than e-commerce.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We need to thread that needle though. A little bit of both. Maybe a little bit of hustle porn, a little bit of like actual practical e-commerce. I don't know.
You mean you're not going to film a video of you walking down a beach telling people they too can live their life walking down a beach as long as they follow these 6 proven steps to sell your product?
I think did you see the video where I did that?
Maybe.
Okay. I mean, but we were making fun of it. Well, I think that video was extremely underappreciated. I think that video was really, like, I thought it was funny. Like you never can tell. Because you do something like the chicken video we did on TikTok. For those that don't know, I did this stupid video about a chicken on TikTok. It's kind of bourbon related, but not really. It's just, it's stupid. And I've got like 137,000 views on this video. Like that video, if it keeps getting views, will have more views soon than my entire YouTube channel ever in the history of the channel. And so but it's kind of funny. Half the people I showed it to are like, what in the world are you on? Like, are you okay? My wife's like, that's not funny. You should not post that. And so, and it just takes off. And then I do something that I think's hilarious. Like, I wasn't sure about the chicken video. I thought it was kind of funny, but I didn't think it was that funny. And then I do something I think's just hilarious and nobody watches it ever. And Apparently, I'm not normal. I think that's the moral of the story here.
I don't know. I saw the chicken video and I thought it was one of the funnier videos I'd seen on TikTok. I don't usually share my work, but I sent that out to everybody I know. I was like, this is funny. Also, I grew up with chickens as a kid. My mom got them as a way to therapy after her dad died. So I have also an immense hatred of chickens. Because when parents get things for therapy, usually it means the kids are the ones that end up taking care of it, at least in my house.
Yeah.
Roosters are mean.
Yes, I do want some chickens. I mean, I don't really want chickens. I want a machine that just drops off fresh eggs every morning.
Yeah, well, once you get those farm fresh eggs, it's hard to go back to anything else.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I want a machine that every morning just there's fresh eggs out in a basket by the door. And the only machine I know that does that are chickens.
Right. True.
All right, so what else? We got anything else here useful? What's going on? We got a few people watching on YouTube, man. What do y'all want to talk about? Y'all got any questions about print on demand, drop shipping, what we're doing here? For those that have just joined, we are building a print on demand drop shipping site, and we're just going through how we market it, what our content strategy is, at least roughly the platforms. We're just outlining, we're just talking about random stuff. This is not a structured live stream. If you enjoy this type of content, I'm sorry, because we do not do it very often. If you hate this type of content, then the hell you doing still watching? So, but I do appreciate you joining us for just a little while now, about this afternoon. I've got 8 minutes till it's afternoon here. All right, so
I'd say it's bright and early here, but it's gray and early here.
That's Seattle for you, right? Like, it's never bright, is it?
Yeah. No.
All right, well, if we don't have anything else, I'm probably going to call that a stream and spend the afternoon trying to get the rest of these products imported. I'm sure y'all don't want to watch me do that. If you do want to watch me do that, let me know in the chat. I'll sit here and I'll eat lunch on the live stream, and I will just continue to put products into the site and talk about this crap. Like, I'll do it. I don't care. For you. If you want me to. But if nobody wants to watch, then I'm not going to do it. Because that's weird. Like, it was weird for a little while when everybody dropped off and it was just me sitting here talking to the camera and nobody was out there actually watching it. It's a little strange.
Did it feel like you were shouting into the void? I feel like that's what it would feel like for me.
Well, it does, even if, like, when the chat is dead, because this is one of those streams where there's just not a lot to talk about. There's not a lot of going on in the chat. And so I get it, right? Like, I knew this was going to be just a weird dry stream. That's why I only did it on YouTube and not LinkedIn, because it's awfully hard. And I probably would have got a lot more viewers on LinkedIn for this content, but it's just harder to keep up with what's going on in two places and over there. So I did it in one, but it's like when the chat's dead, and even if, it shows that a few people are watching, it's just kind of weird, because I'm like, are they actually there?
Yeah.
Is it people I actually know? Am I just talking to myself? Am I really here? Do I really exist? Is this the Matrix? I don't know,
Right.
See, I just ran one person off with that ramble.
Maybe it is the Matrix then.
Yeah, nobody said they were interested in this. So I think I'm going to call it a day. Well, I appreciate everybody watching. We will continue to add products, and then hopefully next week we'll have a much more lively and fun stream where we launch this thing and we actually put it out there into the world for all of y'all to go rush and buy shirts, or to not.